Hey everybody. So I, instead of doing a Schoology check, decided that I'm going to go through this homework with you for adding and subtracting radicals. So I've already done the first two. You need to have the same number underneath the radicand in order to add things together. So if I would think of this as like a variable x, and this is the very same variable x, x plus x would be 2x. So you just write it as 2 square root 2. And that's your final answer. That's as good as it can get. You got something out in front, and you cannot simplify the number under the radical. Okay, here we got two different numbers for under the radical. So you need to do factoring. 18 is 9 times 2. I can take the square root of 9 and get 3. And then I'm going to take the negative 2 times the 3 to get a negative 6 root 2 plus a 2 root 2. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. We're just going to ignore that phone call since I am recording right now. All right, again, we need to have the same number underneath the radical. 27 can be broken into the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. And I believe 243, I think, is a perfect square number, maybe? Let's see. Nope, not quite. So let's see here. What would be the highest number? 243 can be divisible by 9, but I also think there's something bigger. Yep, 81 times 3. So this would be 9 root 3. Again, I'm going to take the number that came out of the radical and multiply it by the number in front. So I get negative 45 root 3 minus 9 root 3. And a negative 45 minus a 9 is negative 54 root 3. And that should be number 3. Okay, continuing on. Again, I'm going to look underneath the radical sign. 500 is 100 times square root of 5, which is 10 root 5. 20, I know I can get a 4 times a root 5, which is 2 root 5. And don't need to do anything to this baby because it's already a root 5. So I have 10 root 5 plus 2 root 5 plus 11 root 5. 10 plus 2 plus 11 is 12 plus 11 is what? 23 root 5. All right, moving on. Number 5, we got a square root of 45. We've got a square root of 90 and a square root of 45. So for sure, there's a 9 that goes into all of these. So 2 root 9 root 5 plus 2 root 9 times 10 plus 3 root 9 root 5. That will give me 2 times 3 root 5, which is 6 roots 5, plus a 2 times 3 root 10. I don't think there's anything bigger that goes into that, so that would be a 6 root 10 plus 3 times 3 root 5 plus a 9 root 5. And let's see, 90, I don't think there's anything that goes into there. Yep. All right, so what can go together? Things that have the same number underneath the radical sign. So 6 plus 9 is going to be 15 root 5 plus 6 root 10. And that should be your answer for number 5. Hopefully I didn't copy it wrong. I don't think I did. All right, 54, 3, and 384. So let's see here. I'm going to take 54 divided by 3 and see if I can get a root 3 out of there. 54 divided by 3 is 18. Okay, well, that's not quite what I want to get. So let's see here. Maybe I can. Nah, let's see if something else goes into 54. So 3 times, let's see, 9 times 6. And 2 times, let's see, 384. That's a hefty one. What goes into that? I think 384 is the same as 64 times 6. So take this out, you get a 3 times a 3 root 6 plus a 3 root 3 minus 2 times, let's see, that makes an 8 root 6. So 9 root 6 plus 3 root 3 minus 16 root 6. 9 root 6 minus 16 root 6 would make minus 7 root 6. And we're going to put the 3 root 3 right there. And that is what you should get for your answer. Okay, number 7. Again, we're going to pull out any perfect square factors so that we can get this down to its simplest radical form. Can't do anything with that baby, so that stays the same. 32 would be 16 times 2. Looking for the biggest perfect square number. If you can't find the biggest right away, then you can use one that you find and then look under the radical again and see if you can pull out another perfect square factor. Let's see, 25 would be times 7. All right, so 3 root 7 plus 2 times the 4 that comes out of the root 16 would be 8 root 2 minus 4 times 5 that comes out of the root 25 would be 20 root 7. So 8 root 2 and a minus 20 plus 3 would be minus 17 root 7. And that should be your answer for number 7. 8 root 2 minus 17 root 7. All right, number 8, we got a square root of 20, square root of 80, a square root of 72, and a square root of 5. So 20 is 4 times 5. 80, let's see here. We can definitely get a 4 in there. I don't think 16 fits into 80 evenly. And to go, oh, it does. 16 does fit in. 16 times 5. And 72, oh, that's 36 times 2. We can't do anything with root 5. So let's see, a 2 comes out, so 2 root 5. A 4 comes out of the square root of 16, so 2 times 4 makes 8 root 5. 5 is left in the radical. Square root of 36 is 6 root 2 minus root 5. Okay, so these guys all have the same root. I'm going to put a 1 here because really I only have one of these root 5s. So 2 plus 8 makes 10 root 5 minus 1 root 5 would be 9 root 5. And I'm going to put the 6 root 2 right up front. So 6 root 2 plus 9 root 5 will be your final answer for number 8. Okay, number 9. We have negative root 28, so negative 3 times 7 times 4 plus 8 root 3, can't do anything with that, minus 100 times root 3 plus, let's see, 112. I wonder what goes into 112. What's the biggest number that fits? 16 times 7. All right, so this becomes a 2 when I square root 4. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 root 7 plus 8 root 3. Couldn't do anything with that one. This becomes a 10 minus 10 root 3. And this becomes a 4 root 7. So these two can go together because they have the same radicand underneath the radical sign. Negative 6 plus 4 is a negative or a minus 2 root 7. And 8 square roots of 3 minus 10 square roots of 3 would give you a negative 2 square roots of 3. So negative 2 square root of 3 minus 2 square roots of 7. And that should be your answer for number 9. Okay, number 10. We're getting there. We only have 2 left. So 4 root 24, let's see, that's 4 times 6. I think that's the best we got. Minus 2 times, I think 16 goes into 80, if I remember that from the previous problem. And it does 5 times. And then 11, we can't do anything with the square root of 6. Oh, 216 is definitely something we can take the square root of, I think. Let's see if we get anything out of that. Square root of 216. Okay, so we'll see, 216 divided by 36. 36 times 6 will give you 216. So now we're just going to take the square roots. And I'm going to have to stop here and finish it up on the next page. I'll be back. Thanks.